Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Creative Inclinations, a one-on-one conversation-based podcast about art, music, culture, entertainment, and more with me, David Steele. And today we have a very special guest, Rayvin Burress.
Hello!
Hi, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Ray, you're an improv actor and stand-up comedian. Is that kind of your main two things, right?
Yes, those are my main two. I have many ADHD hobbies, but I pick them up and put them down.
I want to ask you about that. I always like asking people what else they do because I think as creatives, there's always, we do one main thing, but it's like usually there's other things.
Right, absolutely.
So, yeah, we can talk about that a little bit later.
Yes, let's do it. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
I feel like we always have a great time.
Yeah, you've been featured on our channel several times.
Yes, and each time you ask me to come back, I'm like, yes, please. Yeah. I'm like, I guess I didn't say anything that got me canceled this time. Let's try again.
This is our first real podcast. Well, besides we did the POC 4 last year
with Juneteenth.
Yeah, so that was all of you guys, which I love doing. But that was a little bit shorter, so this will be a little bit more in depth and get into kind of your specific creative endeavors and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh!
So
I'm like, no, I hate attention. Stop. Stop.
So thanks for coming, and I just want to. I kind of like to start with the taking it back to the beginning. So one of my first questions in kind of this segment will be kind of about how you got started, but I'm talking about what was one of your earliest memories of wanting to be a performer?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Oh, I have a few. Yeah. So. First, whenever I was probably, as soon as I came out the womb, I could not stop talking. Yeah. I'm like, everybody listen to me, please. I have so much to say. But then I transferred over to always having my cousins around and us always doing little dances and doing many almost cool. Sketch acts that we made my mom watch. Indefinitely. And I think that was the first time that I'm realizing it now. That was probably the first time that I really felt that I needed to do something that was creative and that I liked putting on a performance, So
that's awesome.
And then that kind of transferred over into high school. And then I started doing more stuff, playing sports, dancing, this and that. And then, but it wasn't until I graduated college to where I found comedy and started going that route.
Found a specific thing
my
to
specific
focus
niche
on.
that I really think that I was good at and that I also thoroughly enjoyed, know?
Yeah, that's awesome. So is there because I have another question follow up, but was there anyone? Because I'm always curious. Did you see anyone on TV? What? The question is who are some of your idols or early influences?
My early influences were definitely I was always on YouTube when I was younger. Yeah, so I definitely had early influencers that would just get on camera and just talk. So let's see. I know a first one was Tana Mojo. I just loved how dramatic she was, and I was that's kind of exactly how I feel when I tell stories. So it was always, but also just growing up with in that era of YouTube where everybody was just on there just talking, no edits, some jump cuts, just raw entertainment. So definitely just YouTube, and also let's see. Entertainment-wise, growing up, I was always obsessed with Spice World.
Okay.
So I would always, in that case, I complimented how I wanted to perform my dancing and singing and stuff. I can't sing for sure, but I think that specifically for sure.
I remember, the movie
when the movie dropped.
But that was it was very funny.
Yes.
Great comedy.
It was the perfect blend of that hot pop sensation with comedic timing and all different types of creativity throughout the group, so that was something I absolutely loved,
because they were very I remember I've always loved pop music when I was growing up too, so it's I would say I was a little bit of a fan of them for sure, but but yeah, they were all like very expressive and like,
yes,
and showing their personalities through their costumes and their,
especially,
their characters.
Especially, one of my big ones, That's So Raven and the Cheetah Girls. I think that was for sure when I started to see, because for me, the Cheetah Girls was everything. Because I was like, look at all of this difference in this specific group. Also showing all these young women of color, like really owning a channel, like because the Cheetah Girls own Disney. Like, they owned Disney. And then even with That's So Raven, that was one of my favorite shows. The style, the comedy, like, it was just such an era. Just and I was like...
Yeah, it's kind of like over the top a little bit. I know That's what Raven was for sure.
Yes, exactly. Like, some of the stuff that they would say then, I'm like, that would not fly now on Disney. Right. But that's why I loved it. Like, I was so in tune with that.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, definitely that. I still even try to break out, like, a That's So Raven inspo fit from time to time. A Bratz doll inspo fit from time to time, but yeah, for sure the early baddies, I would say, definitely an inspo.
Interesting that, like, I guess I know that we're definitely I'm a lot older than you are. So
really?
Like, but like I hadn't really thought about that for like I guess I haven't talked to a lot of people that had grown up with the internet in that way, in that early as a young child with the internet. Because when I was a kid, I mean, the internet didn't come around until like maybe middle school, high school for me, and it was way different. There was no YouTube or anything.
Yes.
But yeah, like so. I mean, I always imagine when I ask that question, it's usually like people seeing people on like Jay Leno or something. Like. That kind of like television.
Honestly, I didn't start really watching like like nighttime, like that specific niche of like that
like
sketch or like that sitcom, because I was always tuned into Disney because I was like, this is my entertainment.
It's great too because it's like I love Disney too for sure, and like especially what they are now, and like and continually just focusing on like quality family entertainment too. That's like for families, but not just like kids, but like anyone.
Exactly.
Can watch.
And what I am grateful for now though is that so now I can go back and I can look at these nighttime sitcoms. And I can really absorb the style of comedy that was, and then also because like that's what I do, you know. So it's like it's really cool to see like the first types of like that genre as well, being the age that I am now. You know, it seems like a nostalgic bit that I didn't get to take part of that I can take part of now.
For sure.
So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, because it's still there. You can go back and see it and then kind of take new inspiration from a lot of older stuff.
Exactly.
So I guess one question I meant to ask, but did you grow up here? Where did you grow up?
Okay, so I was born in Monahans, Texas.
Okay.
Do you know where that is?
No.
I would give you $500 right now if you knew where that is.
I don't know. Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Okay, exactly.
Texas is huge.
Texas is huge, yeah. So it's like a little piece of West Texas, and it's like this big. And do you know where Odessa, Texas is?
I've heard of that.
Okay, yeah, that's like the closest city. So I was born there, and then we moved back and forth quite a bit, but then ultimately I did most of my growing in Moore, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So I've been around for a bit.
So you're kind of you moved here very young.
Yes, moved here young. I did a lot of back and forth my earlier years until I was about 15. Yeah. And then I kind of stationed here, and then now I'm kind of back and forth in Texas and Dallas and Austin quite a bit.
There.
Yeah, family there, friends there, people I graduated college with. So
that's good. Yeah, I've always I've never really known very many people who live there, but obviously you go there because it's close.
Exactly.
You go to Dallas.
Exactly. And I love a big city.
Yeah.
I love a big city. Maybe one day if I can ever afford to move to a big city.
Yeah, you went from a very small town to a little bit bigger.
Bigger town, exactly. Like I was not really in Texas. Like I might as well have been just in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
that's very tiny.
Similar. I grew up here in the city actually, but
really in OG.
Yeah, so my whole life too. I've never lived anywhere else, but I always my dad definitely grew up in the rural Oklahoma and stuff like that. But I think there's something about him. He obviously likes the city too, so he had us here, right? And then I agree. I love the city. I love the energy.
Exactly.
Of just, people everywhere.
Yes, and you can always. There's always a group of whatever niche that you're looking for. There's always opportunities in whatever niche you're looking for. So that's what I think is super great about big cities. But I think Oklahoma is starting to do a lot of that.
Yeah,
like, you can really find what you need to find.
Especially now. I mean, like I said,
now.
I've lived here a long time and seen it from, even 10, 15 years ago. It was way different. Like, and
me
now
and
it's so much
Kendon
more.
talk about that, actually. We talk about, because he's been with OKC Improv for since before they were even OKC Improv, really. Okay. So him and Kel and Rory, so they're just slightly older than me, just a little bit. They always talk about it, and then I always get to just like, I'm just like, ooh, because it's so crazy to think about.
It's great, because that's something, because I wanted to leave here, or I was like around the pandemic or whatever, it's like, I remember, it was like pre-pandemic for sure for music. It's like I always felt like I struggled in Oklahoma City specifically, and I think people with music still do in a lot of ways. But so I wanted to leave, right? So like I was like, oh, how can I get to LA or something? I would love to go where it's like there's so many opportunities.
Yes,
there.
exactly.
But I think that something I've noticed too in the past like 5 years for sure, it's like the city is gonna get to like an Austin
level. It'll get there.
Yeah,
it'll get there.
Hopefully get to like, to where we don't have to leave necessarily to get
what we want. Yeah, absolutely. Let's hope. But honestly, it's making its progress though.
Yeah,
it really is.
That's what I mean. It's like, especially if with the Thunder doing so well now. I mean, they've done well and then not so well, but now it's. I think. Oh my God!
Can I say something? One of my favorite streamers. I'm not going into detail because I'm embarrassed. But one of my favorite streamers came here for the game.
Okay.
And I rushed off work to see if I could find them. And I was like scoping
cool.
hard. But I was just gonna act like real nonchalant, like bump into them, be like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Like, "Oh, what's your name? Oh, hey." Like, be very nonchalant with it.
Try to
or I would like crack under pressure and be like, "Hi, I love you." Anyways, but
I mean, some of the streamers too. It's like I feel like you could probably just reach out to them, especially if you knew they were coming here. It's like just say, "Hey, I'm a comedian. I was interested in seeing how you can collab on something."
Which is crazy because that's how I got a few different collabs from just people coming and doing shows here. I was like, I'm just going to start DMing people. I have social media. It's such a powerful tool.
That's what's interesting about it too. Which I don't know. There are some streamers that are just like, wait, your limits. You know your limits. But it's like most of them, I mean, even if you think they're bigger than, too big. You
just never know.
Yeah. I mean, they're still, usually they're just maybe they have a team, but it could be a small team.
Exactly.
And it's like, they're probably the ones answering their own DMs.
Exactly.
Yeah. You never know. So
don't tell me that. I'm going to have to start stalking.
I mean, that's something that I need to take that advice for myself too, because it's like, we talk a lot about like, especially these big comics that come through and go to Bricktown and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, we should just hit them up, be like, hey, do you want to come do the podcast?
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. No, seriously, because honestly, I have realized, I kind of realized this with Preacher Lawson, America's Got Talent comedian.
Yeah.
I messaged him, I reached out to him, and just showed my interest. I told him what style of comedy I do and how I've been a fan for a while. And he let me open up for him.
Okay.
And I met his family, and now he's doing a tour with his family, and his mom and brother open up for him. And like
cool.
his manager's cool as hell. Like, they're so like intricate. They're like an intricate family team. And I think that's so crazy and awesome.
Yeah. So, and you had got that show just by...
Yeah, just by reaching out.
Yeah,
just by reaching out.
Because I've heard the name. I don't know that I've seen his comedy or anything. So
he's hilarious.
Is it like similar to your style?
Yes, for sure, for sure. Cool. He's definitely more well-rounded than I am.
Well, just like and
he is hilarious.
The experience too, but that's someone you can learn from too. But hopefully continue
like,
to work with.
He likes my stories. I like his stories. We like leave each other like just good love, like, you know what I mean? So like, exactly. It's like, and I think that's super cool because I'm looking at him like an idol, and he's just looking at me like we're both the same person. And I'm like, wow, like that's crazy. Like, but it's really cool. You never know. And then sometimes you get the opposite people, and they're like,
exactly.
Don't stink.
Like,
I'm like, okay.
But I think that with people like that, because it's like I reach out to a lot of people. I mean, just local people or whatever, and sometimes you'll like reach out and be like, hey, I want to see if we can do something together. And it's like a lot of times people are cool and you make friends like that. But then sometimes like if they feel like if they don't get back to you or whatever, it's like, well, then
that just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, it's
that just wasn't meant to be.
So it's just you kind of have to just shoot your shot and then see what happens,
and just patiently wait.
And if it, my thing with it is like kind of the timing of that. It's like sometimes you don't want to shoot your shot too early,
and especially not too late, and then not too forward, but also
because I do feel like it's like usually you get like one good shot, and then sometimes it's like it's gonna happen. I think that the thing is if they're receptive, then it should happen,
right? Exactly.
And if you're serious about it too,
exactly,
and it's like you're serious about making something work. Whereas, like, sometimes, and that's the thing, is like sometimes you hit people that would be receptive, but they're just not in the right place or something,
Yes, and then I'm like, well, that's fine, because maybe when they loop back around, they'll just remember that one random DM I sent, or like, because you never know. You really never know.
But yeah, that's good. I mean, definitely some good, like, I don't know, social media is so interesting to talk about, and especially trying to figure it out. I always think about it, and we talk a lot about it too. So
it's I love and I hate.
Yeah, exactly.
I love and I hate.
So let me just wrap up this. Well, like kind of. So yeah, are there any like comedians or anyone like big? Like I always like this. Find it interesting too. Like who's your like favorite all-time comedian?
That's such a hard question.
Or maybe 2 or 3 of them.
That's such a hard question because it's always shifting, because I feel like my style of comedy it's always shifting, like I do like women's struggles, I do like black struggles, I do being in like LGBTQIA, it's very broad. So I feel like I treat my obsession with comedians like my hyperfixations almost, but definitely from start it was for sure Keenan and Kel.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sure. And then I followed them for quite a while whenever I first realized I wanted to start doing comedy when I was a little bit younger.
Yeah.
And then let's see, right now, okay, so for about a year, I've been obsessed with Dolce. I believe she is New York based.
Okay.
And she is hilarious. Like she is so authentic, and she's just everything she says, she just has that tone. She has amazing writing skills, but she's also a singer, so she'll like jump cut to like a song, and then it's a funny song. It's like hilarious. And then I was scrolling on Instagram the other day, and I see that she is headlining Blue Whale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's okay. So that was the third one, because they had the 2, David Cross and Hannibal Burress.
Yes.
And so I didn't know. I knew that they added a third person, but I didn't know anything
that's
about
her.
them.
Dolce Salone, I believe.
Okay,
also
cool.
love Hannibal.
Right. Yeah.
Also, I love Hannibal.
Yeah.
That was a big thing too. Is oh my gosh, not the show leaving my mind. Broad City.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with Broad City. I actually think Broad City was the first sketch show that I watched that I was like, wait, what is this?
Yeah,
what is this style?
Well, it's also because you mentioned Keenan and Kel, which I love that show when it was on for sure. And it was incredible. But like I always think about also Key and Peele.
Yes.
And that was kind of the next,
Yes.
or like even Dave Chappelle, obviously, but those were like sketch shows too,
and
right?
That was crazy, because when I was younger, I wasn't even realizing it that it was sketch, and then I actually started learning about sketch, and then I saw Broad City, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, this is everywhere, which this is really crazy.
So that's kind of like, also, I mean, that kind of leads me into like one of my next questions, which is like your improv and how you got started with that, but like so was SNL a big thing for you at all?
No, not necessarily. But I mean, obviously, I knew of it and I appreciated it. My mom was the SNL watcher, so I knew by the time SNL came on, I knew it was like my time to go to bed.
Right.
Yeah. So like she'd be up giggling, and then I'd be in my room like silently listening. But so I didn't get to grow up much on SNL.
And I feel like, I mean, SNL, it kind of. I feel like by the time that it came to you, it was probably not. I mean, it had lost its luster.
It wasn't. It kind of went like this.
Yeah.
And then it did like a little plateau. But there's definitely a lot of artists that I do love that are doing their SNL bit now.
Yeah.
So like I love that because now I can actually be like here for it. But yeah, it wasn't a super big thing with me in my household when I was younger.
Because that's like I think a lot of people that are into comedy. I mean, it's like we all kind of grew up with that. I mean, that was the thing. Like that was one of the only things that we had for so long until like Comedy Central came around and stuff like that. But, so yeah, I was just curious because that seems like something that I'm sure that, like I said, if you had grown up in that area, you would have been all about it.
No, whenever Saturday Night Live came on, I need to take my ass to bed before my mom starts to yell.
That's always that's a big thing too with all the late night comedy.
For sure.
Like
I feel like that's why I missed out on so much.
But so yeah, I guess when did you start performing improv? I guess the question is, maybe it's better to like say did you start stand up first or improv?
I did improv first.
Okay.
I started improv first. I started improv in 2020.
Okay, I like that.
Or yeah, I think about 2021. Whenever we could start actually having classes again. About 2021, and I had a coworker who's now one of my best friends. Her name's Lauren, and we were working together at the time, and I was going through, I think, what a lot of people were going through, like horrible mental health. I was going through a lot of deaths in my family. It was my first time that I really understood that I wasn't just sad, but I had a crippling depression. And then I would always talk to her about it because she's just the best person in the world, genuinely. And she was doing improv, and she was doing improv for maybe 2 years before, and she did theater and everything. And she told me, she was like, "Hey, I really think that if because at OKC Improv you do classes, and then you do classes 1 through." I think you could do 2 classes, and then you can start performing what they call grab bags, and then you do 3 through 5, and then you can form a troupe, and then do musicals, sketch writing, stand up,
levels.
everything. Yeah. And so she actually, you can do a thing where you gift a class, and so she paid for my first class, and she was like, I think if you just had one day out of the week where you have to show up and you're around people who laugh like this, then it would be very beneficial to you. And at first I was super nervous. I mean, I've never really been shy.
Right.
Who would have known? I've never really been shy.
But yeah, when it comes to doing something like that,
it's so different. And of course I've had people tell me I was funny, but I was, and I am delusional, but I was locked in enough to know that there's a difference between just being funny and actually having a skill.
Yeah.
Just being funny within conversations and then actually building a skill. I mean,
even still, even as what I know of stand-up comedy, and it's there's definitely plenty of people that I know that are funny people, but they're not. It's you put them on a stage.
But you don't want to give them a mic.
Yeah,
But you don't want to give them a mic.
It takes. But even if you are just very, very funny, it still takes years. It takes years
because it's an actual. It's a craft. It's really a craft, and she paid for my first class, and this is when I tell you she loves me, because that shit was $170.
Yeah.
And she gifted me my first class, and then after that I just could not put it down.
Yeah.
And then I realized that it was definitely a part of me.
That's awesome.
And then I want to say after I did my first 2 classes, that's when it really started to, the open mics kind of started to boom.
Yeah.
Because that 2021 because I never went to an open mic or anything before that, and then I feel like that's really when they started to, everybody was itching to get back on stage, so there was all the open mics everywhere you can go each night of the week, sometimes 2, 3 a night, and so then I was like, okay, let me just try something, and then
so you kind of started stand up pretty quickly.
Yeah, because one of my instructors, she did stand up, and then that's when she told me that I should try it out.
Yeah.
And so shout out Lauren, shout out Christy Boone. Those are my girls. They're awesome.
Yeah.
They're awesome. But yeah, that's what ultimately got me into all of this.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't realize, or I assumed I didn't really know any of it. That's why I asked.
Yeah,
I guess.
comedy ultimately saved my life. I am a firm believer.
But it seems like you've been doing both, kind of the same. The same
exactly.
Now.
And I think it's super fun because they're so different. They're so drastically different. And so anytime I ever like can doubt myself, and then I play with my troupe, and then they just light a fire under me, you know?
We are now taking donations to help support Rhythm and Wit. It's called buymeacoffee.com/rhythm and wit. And that is where you can go and just donate any amount. I think that what they do is, it's called Buy Me a Coffee. You can buy us 1 cup of coffee, costs $5, so you can just donate $5, and that will maybe buy one of us a coffee.
Yeah, so we'll sip on it together.
We'll split it. So you can do that, or you can buy us 10 cups of coffee if you wanted to. So, I mean, that's like a $50 donation, and then that's all goes there. You can leave us a message on there, and if you do leave us a message, we will certainly read it on the air, and thank you for your support. And any of the money that we take from Buy Me a Coffee, or any donations at all, we are going to use to put back into the show, whether it's buying new equipment, maybe some mics or cameras or lights or anything like that, or maybe even promoting and just trying to grow the audience, because that's something that I'd like to get into, is buying some ads and things like that to try to grow our audience that way.
Absolutely.
And of course that costs money, so we would love it if you could support us. If you have the means, please go to buymeacoffee.com/rhythm and wit. Rhythm and Wit. Speaking of the troupe, this is
my beautiful, awesome, amazing guys.
Yeah, that's PLC4's name. I guess, when did you start performing with them? I guess I kind of know the answer to this, but you can go ahead.
Shout out Kel, shout out Kendon, shout out Rory. I started performing with them February of 2023.
That was like right at about the same time I met you.
Yes. I just started performing with them then, and it was originally I believe it was originally just Kel and Kendon.
Yeah. And it was POC3.
Yes. And then it was Kendon, Kel, and Rory. And then they brought me on after I finished through my level 5 classes, because then that's when you can do a troupe. And then they brought me on for a special guest one day. And the dynamic was just so fluent and so authentic that it was one of the best shows that I feel like I've ever done.
Yeah, that first one.
That dynamic, yes. And then I'm happy because they felt the same way. And then they just invited me back again. And then after that's all she wrote. But literally performing with them is like hanging out with friends.
Yeah,
and that's what I love, is because like our style is basically like 4 friends hanging out.
Right.
And then we get the suggestion, and then we get one word, and then it's literally us having conversations, doing scenes, but all really hanging out.
But it seems like it's very natural.
It is.
Like,
it is. And they're
easy.
also just naturally creative and funny and talented. Like, I could not pick better people to perform with.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've seen you guys perform together at least 3 or 4 times.
Yes.
I wish it was more. Like, there's always shows going on at OKC Improv, and there, so it's like I have no excuse not to go out more.
Bro, honestly, but I'm not there as much as I should be either. So if that makes you feel better, especially working weekends, like, sometimes it's tough, but I try to show up and support as much as I can, because that place is just overflowing with talent. I can't.
It's like I know if I just started going there more, it's like I would meet so many people like so many more creative, interesting people. So I know a lot of them anyways, but it's like mostly I only know the ones that cross over into the comedy.
Into the stand-up realm. Sure.
But. And which it seems like a lot anyways, but maybe, I know that there's way more people that do the improv stuff that don't do stand-up.
Yes, exactly. The ratio is kind of crazy, but.
I guess, what is it about improv that you love the most? Is it
my gosh.
Specifically improv, I guess.
Specifically improv. Okay, what I love the most about improv specifically would be playing with my troupe, obviously, and just feeding off of each other. Like, I've never experienced something like that, to where we just flow so well together and say, it's just anything. Like, each time before we go on, I got your back, and we really go out there and we got our back. Say if I'm not feeling 1,000%, I know I'm gonna go up there and the show's still gonna be 1,000%. Like, they all have my back for sure.
It definitely sounds like trust. You guys definitely trust each other.
I trust them. I trust them hard.
Rely on each other.
Yes,
when like you said, even if you're not feeling so great, they'll bring that back out of you.
Yes, exactly. Because I can go thinking like, oh, like obviously I deal with my mental health a lot, and I could just have one day where I'm just really like fogged over, and then obviously I still show up, and then I get there and it just like melts away, and they just bring me back to life.
It's interesting that you say that. I hadn't thought about this, but like because I'm a performer too, but I've never performed solo. I'm a bass player, so I've always been with a band.
Right,
so
it's
exactly. Very similar thing when you said that, because it's like that's something I've always thought about playing in a band. It's like there was a lot of like early on, obviously, you know, I started when I was like 19, 20, so we were very young. And so like the first couple of years, maybe, you know, I kind of got over the nervousness of playing live fairly quickly.
Yes.
And like now, by this point, it's like been 20 years.
Your band is amazing.
I don't even, I currently don't have a band, but no, but yeah, I think
you're amazing,
the
by
one
the way,
that,
and that's
thank you for saying that.
I came to the house concert.
Yeah, okay.
That was that one.
I wasn't sure, I remember, because there was a few of them. I didn't know if you had made it to, which one it was that you made it.
No, I came when you threw the banger here.
Yeah.
When you threw the Absolute Project X banger.
Yeah, no, like I said, we've done that a lot, actually. Because one thing with that is, like, I've been doing those parties in this house since I've lived in this house since, like, 2018. And that was, like, the first one I think we ever did. And I would do them on Halloween a lot. That was back then. But then the pandemic, I kind of didn't do them for a couple of years, but then came back and we did a bunch in the past 2 years or so with Stolen Cable was the band that I think you were talking about.
Okay, gotcha.
But so that was fun. But the reason why I started doing that at all was because it's like I was saying earlier about the opportunities here for music are just shit, frankly. It's like so hard, especially if you're a new band.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like you can't get booked anywhere, so it's like, well, you just make.
Just do it yourself.
I'm a big proponent of like creating your own opportunities.
Yes,
you know,
me
it's
too.
like I have a venue. It's
no,
right
exactly.
There,
and this is like this. In my opinion, always better than a venue.
A lot of people, because I think that's my thing is...
Because music is losing its intimacy.
Yeah, right.
And that's what I feel like you definitely bring whenever you do stuff like
I agree, because I think that by now it's like I've kind of figured that out why. I think why that is why people... Because like we would book shows at like the Opolis or like even wherever, right? Even at like Speakeasy or...
Right.
And it's like so hard to get people to want to go to those places, you know. So but then we would do a house show here. I've had way more people come here than any show I've ever tried to produce or book.
Yes, and people crave that. They do, because music is definitely losing like its intimacy, and I think that you did a great job of like bringing that back.
Thanks.
Seriously.
Yeah, I
walked
forgotten.
up at the park around
the
corner.
Yeah, I think I do remember that. Yeah, that night you showed up.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wasn't sure if you had ever made it out here.
No, I did. I was taking tequila shots in your kitchen.
But there's just so many people that, so
there was
it's hard
a lot.
To keep track.
It was a lot. I pulled up, I said, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But just whenever you mention that thing about having that group, it definitely reminds me of playing in a band. And it's like, because they kind of keep you accountable too, especially like I assume you guys like have rehearsals and stuff like that, right? Never.
We just hang out. They do. Well, no, so we don't necessarily have rehearsals.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're doing something that's like a sketch show, or if they're directing a sketch show or something like that, but we don't just like link up and practice.
Yeah, okay.
Because our show, it's really like us hanging out and then finding the funny in it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, to be honest, if we did... I was about to say if we did rehearse, our shows might not be as good, but no, I think that they would still be. They would be great, because I would love to see them any chance that I get.
But it's interesting, but like you don't have to. You know, it's
which
like
good,
still have a great show.
I would probably crash.
I don't know, because I'm curious, because I assume that's how it worked, but I guess you guys don't like.
Some troops do that though. Yes, for sure.
Okay.
A lot of troops practice.
But I guess as
they should.
And so like you guys' style is doesn't necessarily require that, I think, because it is very so I guess, can you tell us like about how like what is like if people wanted to come and never seen you guys, what could they expect?
Okay.
Like, how does it work?
Yeah.
Typically?
So very much like Keenan and Kel, Key and Peele style, like Blackish. Not like Black, but like the show Blackish. Yeah, but like like that, for sure. And then so
that's the kind of the themes and everything that you guys play with.
And that's exactly how it is. So we start each show with a fake black fact.
Okay.
Kendon is the only one that has a real black fact and a fake black fact. But we do that so that we can kind of break up and build a funny tension throughout the room. So, and then it's just like dumb. Like, it's just so dumb. Like the last time we did Tulsa Jumbo. I don't know if you've seen that with Arch yet, but we did Tulsa Jumbo, and then I was like, my fake black fact is that downtown Tulsa is where we feel safest performing. Like, you know, so it's just like stupid, but it's like such a great way to get the audience warmed up. And then after that, we just get a suggestion of why a group of friends are going to get together. And then we just start the scene, and then so we'll all be talking, and then say Kendon said something like, oh, well, Ray, remember when you went on a date with that girl? And then we just all know, we break away, and then we start that scene of me going on a date with that girl. So it took, it really didn't take long for us to start flowing like how we did. But I think also that reason is because it was already started way before I got there. Like Kendon and Rory, I believe.
They had the
either Kendon
kind
and Rory
of
or Kendon and Kel were the first two. Yes. And then they just added on and then added me on for the last one. And so I think it's because it's been like a slow, like a gradual thing to where it's almost like the structure is like kind of spoken out. Non-spoken, but it's there. You know?
Because, like I said, I've definitely seen you guys perform. Now that you're saying that, I'm starting to remember how, now I remember. Because I wasn't sure. I was like, because I know some troops, how do other troops do it typically?
So there's different, like, things. There's, like, one called, I think it's, like, a herald. And then you have, like, I'm gonna butcher this so bad because it's been 2 years since I've actually played in this format. But you have like your 3 scenes and then like a breakaway of like a group game, and then you have 3 more scenes, and those scenes tie back into the first 3 scenes. So it's like that.
And any of them
it's like improvised.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Is anything like pre-written?
Nothing.
So and then they just kind of get suggestions from the audience.
Suggestions and just their creative ass minds. Sorry, I keep cussing out here. But literally that's it. So you have like a format, but it's literally just like blank lines and then you make your own story.
Okay, I always known that because I've always known about like the audience suggestion is like a big part of it usually. So and then so I guess the next question kind of is like, what is like, obviously there are a lot of differences, but like what do you see as like the biggest difference between stand-up and improv? Or like, what do you feel like
that's a good one. Okay.
Is different about them?
The crowd.
Okay, yeah.
Always. 1000%.
I think is it like different types of people that go to each thing?
Yeah, so like, you get like, and this is not me knocking, because I've had some amazing crowds, like amazing. And usually I can get the crowd on my side no matter what, kind of demographic I am performing to. But so the thing with improv though is that people who go to improv shows already love comedy, and they know what they want to go, what they want to see, and how like how to interact and like be fun. But then those people, some of those people, so then those are like the people who like watching improv. And then you get some of the people who like to go watch stand up and they're like
not impressed.
Not impressed whatsoever. I'm like, I could literally slap my ass and show you everything I have and you would still be like, no. You know what I mean? So
definitely it's different because I think that it seems like with stand-up comedy, like I said, I definitely know a lot more about that than I do improv. So it's like, and I've seen way more stand-up comedy than improv, but like stand-up comedy, it seems like it's like, it's one person and they're just telling their view on the world.
Yes, exactly. And so that's very, but that's like the beautiful thing about stand-up too, is because it's like your own It's all
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
that's what I love.
And it's like you can't be wrong.
You can't be wrong.
Yeah.
You can't be wrong.
I mean,
you can be. But like,
yeah.
but I mean,
But,
you have the mic.
But
Like,
it's
you
still,
know what I mean?
But whatever comes out of your mouth is from your perspective.
Is you exactly.
I mean,
So like, I think that's the biggest difference, because I think the improv crowds are more like open and accepting and like really wanting. Oh, and also just more like, because then you go to improv and then your suggestions are like open to hear, you know, like, but then you go to stand up and then it's like, then it's heckling.
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
like,
You're like, that's what I was gonna say.
I'm
Is like
please.
the difference between the crowd to me is like one is like encouraged to
an
interact,
extent,
and then the
and
other
the
is
other is
like you're not supposed to.
Yes, which I do love. Like I do love to interact with my audiences for sure. Especially when they're wanting to like interact with me. Like when we did Put a Cork in It last like a couple weeks ago. Oh my God, that was amazing. I loved that crowd.
I kind of wanted to get into that a little bit and just talk a lot about that show.
Let's do it.
But one last question on the improv stuff. Like, what's been, I think maybe you've already even answered this, but like, what's been your favorite performance so far that you've done?
Oh my God.
Improv or POC4?
Okay, definitely our last Juneteenth show, which I think you were there for. Our last Juneteenth show was amazing, and I think it's because we were already hyped up. Like, I already went out and did stand-up.
Completely full
Rory did
crowd.
stand-up. Yeah, crowd was full. Kendon hosted. Kel did the grab bag with only black improvists at the beginning. We were all just so high. I have chills right now. Like, that was one of the best shows ever. And then so as soon as it was time for us to actually do our thing as a unit, we killed.
Yeah.
We
and
killed.
Speaking of, well, I'm pretty sure we put that entire show on our Rhythm and Wit channel.
Yes,
so
we did.
If you want to go see it,
you
it's
should
up
go
there.
watch that. It's a good one.
From last year,
it's
for
a good
sure.
one. It's a good one.
I just remembered. I remember being there. We did the interview with you guys.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, we also have almost the entire show on there as well.
That was definitely one of my, and thank you for reminding me that, because I remember to the interview, and then I remember.
That's the thing. That's the part I always think about is the interview. Obviously, I think about the show, and and like when you're saying, it's like, oh yeah, you guys did all do that different things and do the act together.
Yes, it was literally, that was, I definitely, that one stands out the most in my head for sure. It was last year's POC4 or last year's Juneteenth POC4. And then we do it again.
Yeah, coming
19th,
up.
Coming up. So that's also going to be awesome.
So we'll talk more about that for sure. So that's awesome. What about stand-up? What about your favorite show? I know you just had a show.
I did.
That was really big.
I had Cancel Me Later, May, I think it was 25th. And that one was awesome. That was my third production that I put on. I casted, I did the tickets, I did the venue, like everything. And it was honestly great. It was amazing. My best stand-up show though, I know, I think I definitely have one that would top that. Yeah. 'Cause I mean, it was great. Don't get me wrong. It was amazing. But I think that I've definitely had more where the crowd work was just crazy. Like everybody was on my side the whole time. Like, but I can't remember. Maybe I just have too many. Yeah. Maybe there's just too many. But cool. Yeah, the Cancel Me Later show did go absolutely amazing.
That's great.
Can we talk about it for a second?
Yeah,
I need to get it off my chest.
Because I wanted to. I should have.
Yeah, I didn't see you there. I know, David.
I
didn't see you there.
I don't have a good excuse. I should have went. I know.
Well, at least you're honest. If you would have said something else, then I would have been like, okay, but thank you for being honest. No, it was great. We sold 60 tickets. Yeah. We booked out Shots on Rocks. It was awesome. And then I had just the best cast. Like,
that was like the cast was amazing. You had Evan Hughes.
I had Evan Hughes. I need to go step by step. Okay, with Evan, I think that since he is such like a monumental guy of like comedy in Tulsa, he is so friendly and so approachable, and I think that is so important because so many people are scared to do stand up and are scared of like putting the mic down, just walking away, and he makes you feel so warm and welcoming.
He's just very easygoing.
Yes, he's just like a cool guy. He's just a cool guy. I believe that was my 3rd or 4th show I've done with Olivia Lycan.
Yeah.
Each time, slay. Each time.
Yeah.
Haley Parker, I just started working more with her, Tulsa-based comic, and
I'd seen her Blue Whale last year. And that was the only time I'd ever seen her because I don't get to Tulsa that often.
I've been going to Tulsa quite a bit recently.
Yeah. I know that you've been doing a lot of stuff with Evan, right?
Yes, and I keep finding these comics like Evan, like Haley, and I'm like, I can't get enough of y'all. I can't get enough of y'all.
I know because we have been starting to bring a lot of them to put a quirk in it. I know we had Lacey Rains recently.
I think you had Evan there.
Yeah, Evan's done it. Even what's his name? The older gentleman. I can't think of his name.
I'm like, you're gonna have to be more specific.
Sorry, I'm blanking on
That's
it
okay.
now,
You're gonna think of it like 3 a.m.
Anyways, Evan
and then Natalie Perez, and I just love everything about her. I just love everything about her. I think she's so unapologetically herself. I think if she would, like, no matter what she's thinking, she's gonna say it. And I love that. And I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And
we did a little roast segment. She had too much fun.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So, was there, like, any, was it just stand-up, or did you do, like, different kind of
I've tried the last
format?
2 shows I've done. I've tried to mix in some improv in there, and it wasn't as successful doing improv comedy at a bar.
Yeah.
So
I think I like that. Hopefully you'll keep trying.
I think I'm going to try to do it again, for sure.
I think you'll figure out what works.
It's just finding the improvist that actually want to do that. Yeah. But I think it would have been a nice way to break up the show.
Or, too. I mean, because this kind of gets into what I was wanting to talk about, but, like, doing this kind of... comedy on the spot, what Nick Campbell does, and it is an element of improv, but it's like when I've been to every single one of them. He's been doing it about a year.
A year now, yeah.
And because you were actually on, I think, the first one.
I was. and I bombed. And it was the worst day. And it still haunted me to where I went into this last one I just did terrified.
That's why. Oh, okay. So you were terrified. Not confident.
No, not at all. I literally almost texted him like 3 days before, and I was almost like, actually, I have a big show coming up. I don't think I could I don't think I could do this to my confidence.
Right, yeah.
I don't think I could do this to my confidence.
If that happened again, that would have been detrimental.
It would have been horrible.
Sure.
It would have been horrible. And I had my show 2 days later, and like I would have walked in with like my knees shaking. But I redeemed myself.
Because that's kind of what I was going to get at, was like with that show, it's like, I mean, he just has, I think you're probably the only like improv actor that he's had on it.
I believe so. Yeah.
Maybe there's been some others, but even still, like I feel like that didn't necessarily help.
I know. No, it really didn't.
But
no,
it
didn't.
Right?
You could be honest.
But no, but I mean, and I think that I would think that it would, but I think that format is just so wild and different.
It's so drastically different. Honestly, I don't think whenever I think of improv, I really think about like. And this is not for every improvist, because you could put one person on a stage and they will go on and on and on, monologue, like creating spatial awareness, making up, like creating a whole scene. I'm not the best at that.
Right. Like solo.
Yes,
right?
I'm not solo. I'm not the best at that. So that's what me being an improvisist, I definitely take a lot of confidence within my group.
Yeah.
But so this comedy on the spot.
Yeah, this latest one, which I didn't know, but like it was almost exactly a year.
Yes, it was a year. It was like my redemption era.
Yeah,
like I had to. Yeah. Which thank God. Honestly, thank God.
This performance, I think that performance from you on this latest one, it's not out yet. I think it's coming out on the YouTube on the end of the month, so you'll be able to check that out. But I think it was like one of the best performances I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Like there's been a few, like Will Davis did one that would just, I mean, he's incredible.
Of course, it's fucking Will Davis.
But like that's the thing is like there's some comedians that are very, very good. Like you were saying, like this kind of like they can just go on and on with no material and just be amazing. And he's definitely one of them.
Right, for sure.
But but it's very rare. I think most comics are feel like you did before going into that, where it's like they're terrified because they don't even know what it's like to not have material.
Yes, yes, exactly. So, I was very, very proud of myself, David. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, like I said, it was incredible.
That was one of the best off riff. That was definitely the best just riffing I've ever done. It was. I went home and I slept like a baby. It was so good. The crowd was great. Yeah. A few people came to my show from that. Yeah. And I can't wait to post those clips. Yeah. I'm gonna do it. I can't wait to post those clips.
There's a lot of people from that show specifically have been. That was a great show. Everyone did good that night.
It was great.
But one thing I noticed that I think that one of the differences is like you had gone almost maybe second to last that night, so you had like
all of
this
it to work with.
Yeah, I think that helps for a lot of people. It did,
because I'm sitting there like. Everybody picking on me and my butt. Whatever. Whatever.
That is always the most wild shit that comes
which always happens to me. Okay, this is what okay, I'm just gonna say it. Every stand-up show, every show like this I go to, it's always a pick on Ray Day, which they're lucky I had tough skin. But it's always a pick on Ray Day, and then this time I was like, wait a minute. I'm getting my vengeance. Now I'm coming full vengeance, full force. But I think it worked out so great. Everybody had such a great time, and everybody did amazing. And I can't wait to post those clips, dude. They're so...
So, and yeah, I guess one question along those lines is like, what do you like about that format as opposed to like sketch comedy or improv?
Oh, okay. So
like
what I like, like as me doing it myself.
Yeah, or just like because you've done it twice. So it's like I'm just curious about like the show format as it is.
Well, I mean, altogether it takes a lot to do sketch.
Yeah.
Like a lot. And not saying it doesn't take a lot to like do what we do at Put a Cork in It or that style of comedy.
The riff.
Yeah, but it's more of, it's like in the moment. It's very like, and that's what, that's my ADHD ass. Like, if it's right there in front of me, I'm going to put full focus into it. If I have to sit down and hyper focus on it, then I'm going to do it once and then lose interest. And that's the hard part, because I've been really wanting to do more sketch. Really wanting to do more sketch
shows. That's like when you say sketch, it's like writing.
Planning, recording, actually producing.
Yeah, kind of like, because you could do like a sketch video, like social media type stuff.
Yes, and that's still, it takes like, it takes writing. It takes filming. It takes editing. Like, and so that, as opposed to Put a Cork in It, where it's very just flowy, and you're the camera guy, and then Nick is hosting, and then everybody else is just like, everybody's doing their little jobs that makes it all come together with it not being as like an overwhelming amount of work.
Don't have to think
say that, but you're literally recording everything and putting out everything and clipping everything.
It's not too. The only thing that's difficult that it's now like that I do struggle with doing that show is like the editing part.
Yeah, because that's a lot. And editing is so tedious.
It takes a long time. It doesn't take that long. Like the filming is pretty easy. I've got that down pretty well. But it is like the editing and like, getting that together. But I mean, I just got
these past videos looked great.
Yeah, thanks.
They looked great.
Yeah, I think that, like I said, we've gotten a pretty good system. Like I already know where to set everything up. I know how to get the audio from the board. So
exactly. Because if not you, then who? If not you, David, who's gonna do it, bro?
Yeah, I'm happy to still be.
Thank God
that show is still going and is successful. As a show, but also it's like our most popular thing on our channel. Like people love to see those, and I think it's just a good, if you want to sit at home and watch a comedy show for free.
Yes, then it's right there. Exactly.
So, which you can't necessarily do. Like, I mean, I do a lot of shows and photograph and stuff like that, but it's like we can't film those like people's performances, like their written material and put those out.
What I thought was the coolest thing as well is that how much improvement everybody showed. Yeah. Like your videos look so great. Nick's hosting was amazing. I did great.
Yeah. That's the other thing is
cool.
Most of the time, I mean, like I said, I've seen a lot of people do that where I've seen like a lot of great comics that I've seen a ton just go up and kill it every time, but then they go and do that show and they struggle. And like, but the thing is, like, the more you do it, like, the easier it gets, and the better you get at it. And so, like, I guess, one last thing is, like, is there anything that you could think of or suggest that would improve that show in particular, or
what I did different this time as opposed to last time? I think last time I think I went in with a bit of an ego.
Yeah.
I think I went in like...
the first time. That's what I thought, too. I was like, oh, Ray's going to kill it because you do improv.
And then you said, like... oh, no, get her off.
But it's like,
get
you
her
never
off.
know.
Exactly. So I think the first time, that's what I was too comfortable with. I'm like, oh, I'm going to kill this. So, it's going to be fine. I'm going to do awesome. So I didn't even really... Like, I listened to the comics before. I didn't really take note of anything. Because that's what the audience loves. They love a callback. They love a reference to something that they've already seen, especially if they think it was funny.
Yeah.
And I didn't do any of that. So I just got up there and just started talking.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh.
And then you're just like, you start talking about it and like nobody.
Too much. Yes. And then everybody, like, at one point, the guy literally was like, I was asking for suggestions at the first show. And he was like, so how does it feel to ball? Yeah. I hope he's having the worst time of his life, by the way. But so then this last time I went in, I listened to everything. Yeah. I made mental notes about everything. And then so finally when I was bursting at the seams to talk, like how I always do, I got to walk up and just immediately gain everyone. Yeah. And then it was just like smooth sailing from that. So I think listening.
Yeah, just paying attention, because that's
being present.
Something that I always noticed too, or I picked up on and learned from, like, Will Davis and, like, I think Brandon Killo. We
love both of them.
Like both of them told us, like, when we had them on the show, was like, paying attention to the room, using the room, like, wherever, even if you're doing regular stand-up, it's like just pointing out, like, Will always does this thing where he, like, talks about the bathroom like at every venue, and just, like, gives it, like, a little review, and it's hilarious. Because, like, everyone's
been to the bathroom.
So, like,
everybody
can relate to it.
And then they clock it and they're like, wait, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
They're both so creative. And I've definitely I've loved being able to work with them and do like open mics and stuff with them, because each time they're just so, like, I know that they've worked on their craft obviously, but they also have that natural factor of just, like, telling a story and being there, being present, being
I think
fun as hell.
That's definitely something that I've learned. Like I said, I've never even attempted stand-up or whatever.
When are we gonna get you on a mic?
Like,
David, I know you have a type 5.
I think that there's a lot of value in doing it, even if, like, because my thing is, like, I have no aspirations of being a stand-up comic or performing in that way. Like, I see how much work it takes and how much you have to dedicate, and it's like, I just don't. Like, not only do I not want to do that.
Yeah,
like,
period.
You know what I mean?
No,
like,
it's so bad.
I love it. I think it's fascinating.
You
like,
admire the art.
Yeah, and I like where I'm at. I love talking to comics and learning about it. But
and
it's
we
like,
love you.
And I think that one day I probably will. I think if
you ever grabbed a mic and got on stage, we would be roaring. You would have. No, you would be like, okay, I guess this is it. Yeah. Turn off the cameras, turn off the mic. This is what I'm doing now.
I don't know. Yeah, that's like so my fear too. Is like that I'll love it.
Yeah, and you won't be able to get enough of it.
Maybe I think one day, like I said, I think that there's a lot of value, even if you don't, like, for everyone to try it at least once.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you can learn so much about, yourself and just get this kind of experience and like kind of, I think it helps in other aspects of life too. So like I said, I should try it, I think, one day. Now I do have the time. I used to have an excuse where I worked at the news, and I would work early morning. So it's like, I can't go to the mics. I go to sleep at 8 p.m.
But that's so real, though. David, between you and me, and I guess can everyone, I can't tell you the last time I went to a mic.
Oh, yeah.
I just love... I shouldn't have opened up this can of beans. I just like it is just hard. And then you go, then you sit, and then you wait, and you're twiddling your thumbs. And then as soon as I get bored, I'm like, oh, I guess I need a drink. And then I'm like tipsy as hell on a Wednesday at 12 at night, needing to get home immediately.
For sure. Well, like, and this is interesting too, because it's speaking of my next kind of question is that, like, staying on the topic of comedy on the spot a little bit, but there's a new mic that Nick just started on Wednesdays at Put a Cork in It. It's going to be for the summer, so you should go now.
I will be at that one.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, because this show is called Comedy Off the Cuff. So it's the same format as Comedy on the Spot, but it's like 3-minute sets. So it's pretty quick. But the last week was the biggest crowd I've ever seen in that place. There was so many people, like so many comics came out to be there
to show their support.
So I was curious if you're.
I'm sad I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Well,
you think you're gonna try to make it out there?
I think I definitely am. It's so hard because I do work evenings, so that's also another reason why I stopped. Yeah, or I haven't gone to as many. I literally can't. I have to support myself. But I'm definitely gonna try to make it out there for sure. And I want to show all of my love and all my support for Nick and Liz, because I love them. But
think
that's also such a great idea. He really ate down with that one. He really did.
I think it's because also it goes into the show, the big show itself. It's like people can go there to the mic and practice and try it out.
And that's a great way for them to ease into just like
exactly.
I wish we would have done that a year ago.
But it's like, but even still, like if you were, because I'm sure you'll be back on a Comedy on the Spot eventually.
Now I can hope for that.
So it's like if you want to, go and get some more experience before then, even you can go near there. So
I would love to, and I also feel like that is a great way. Sorry, I'm about to put lip gloss on. I feel like that's a great way too to just really pick up on people's energy and feed off what they say, because as soon as I think I maybe drew like 3 or 4 suggestions, and the rest was just me talking to those people because they're filled up on wine and they're ready to talk.
Yeah,
and I love that
they've got stuff to shout out, because I think that that show also, because I think that show, and he talks about this since for the past year of doing it, it's like it's made him such a better comic in his regular stand-up.
I could tell.
It's like it's such a like weird like kind of muscle you're working out on that stage in that format, and then you take it to your regular.
That's a great way to describe that. Yeah, it's literally working out such a specific muscle.
Because it's just basically you're practicing crowd work.
Because you could sit and write all day, and then go to do something like that, and then just be like.
Yeah, so I think that it's definitely beneficial for all stand up, even if you don't care about.
And also improvists too. I think it would really be beneficial for everyone. Sorry, I might do some ASMR with my.
This is the first time we've had someone put makeup on the show. It's fine. Okay, so that's all I had for that.
First time for everything.
There is another big topic I wanted to get into is something I know you're very passionate about, and we can talk about coming up very soon, is Juneteenth.
Yes.
And that's going to be Juneteenth this year is on Thursday, June 19th. And so it's on a Thursday. I guess my first question is, what is Juneteenth? Can you talk to us about?
Yeah, so Juneteenth is when Black people officially.
Over here.
Oh, sorry. Juneteenth is the actual date where Black people became freed. It is. It's so crazy because Juneteenth, like growing up in school, I wasn't taught about Juneteenth. Like Moore Public Schools was not taught about Juneteenth.
Right. I mean, nobody. But I didn't. Yeah.
And
I didn't hear the word Juneteenth until I was like in my 30s.
Yes, probably. Exactly. And that's what I think is so crazy about everything, because there's still specific dates and specific things that we're just now finding out about because they've been erased from the history that we're being taught.
Yeah.
So, and I think especially just with everything going on in the world right now, I think
even currently, very
currently, that's right now, and probably still when this video comes out, so I think no matter what, it's just super important to constantly celebrate heritage and
freedom.
That's why I really haven't been able to like post many videos or many clips right now, because I just like from comedy, because I feel like it's just not the right time.
Right.
It's not the right
more
time.
Important things to focus on.
Exactly, a lot more important things. But that I am excited about our Juneteenth show, because I love being a part of celebrating Black excellence every day of my life.
For
and
sure.
especially with all of this, I would love for people to be able to take some time and get a laugh in before they have to go back out into this cruel world that we're living in.
Yeah, for sure.
So, hate to be a downer, but I'll be a downer. Don't care. I'll say it.
It's, no, I think that's something. I mean, one of the reasons I wanted you on now too is because Juneteenth is coming up. I think that this episode will come out on this coming Friday, so it'll be before Juneteenth.
Oh my God! Yay!
So
that's so
this
close.
One out pretty quickly. So, but yeah, I wanted it to be kind of a discussion on Juneteenth, because I think it's an important thing to talk about, because there's no one. Because last year, one of the first things that we worked on together was I did a Black History Month video, right? Invited several Black comics, artists, and things like that.
I do remember that. I almost forgot about that. Oh my god.
Yeah, because it was kind of random. I remember seeing you perform. You did one of Nick's shows, and then you talked about that, I think, or something. It was in your set, so it was like, I kind of picked up very quickly. It's like you were passionate about that Black history and Black that kind of stuff. But then that's. During that video was whenever I realized it's like Black History Month doesn't actually mean shit. It's actually
it really doesn't mean shit. Also, they're giving us the month with the least amount of days,
shortest month for sure.
Bro, don't get me started. Don't get me started, because we'll be here for a couple hours. But no, one thing about David, he's for the people.
Yeah, no, he is
for the people.
Very. A passion of mine is Black rights and things like that. So I mean, just in equality and all that. So it's definitely something that I wanted to bring you on to talk about and to get more serious, because it's like,
because these are conversations that need to happen.
So yeah, I think let's see, what is your favorite thing about Juneteenth?
My favorite thing about Juneteenth? Ooh, that's a good question.
So I know that there's always
there's something about the gathering of
just people. I know that is it Juneteenth on the
East with JB? Yes.
Yeah, I think they always have a big block party. On the East side.
Yeah. And they also have a marathon that they run the day before.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's super great. I volunteered at it last year, and JB is a great friend of mine. I love everything he stands for, and I met him actually at the Julius protests a few years back. I think there really is something so amazing about sharing culture and being unified, and it's the same feeling. It's okay, I don't really know exactly how to explain it, besides a feeling when you get together and you see people like you and you see talent like yours, and you just feel the love of everyone. And that's how I feel when I go to like these protests too. Like it's so moving. It's honestly a word that I don't even think I can describe, but it's like overpowering with everything.
Like some kind of like passion.
Yes, it's like, but it almost feels like a magic. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but it's something that's so crazy about like strength in numbers. That's what it being with.
And I think it's because that everyone's there for the same reason.
The same celebration.
Like
yes, exactly. You're not having to look left and right to figure out who is really for the culture, who's really not for the culture. Like that everybody is there with the same
goal or something like the same.
Yes, and also just like the history of everything. Like you can really feel that when you get together, and just like the dancing and the music and the speeches and the poetry and just like you walking by and you hear a family have like the same dialect and like sharing the same experiences. It's genuinely insane. It's genuinely insane. And like I just love everything about it. And that's why I'm always so like we need to talk about this more. We need to talk about this more. Everybody needs to hear, because I still don't think enough people know about Juneteenth, about what's going on today, because then at that point you're kind of turning a blind eye. Okay, sorry, I went on my tangent. I'm done. I'm done.
I think that, like I said, that's why I wanted to. It's like I'd like to do more. Like I just feel like talking about it is like kind of educating people that don't know anything about it, or just maybe have heard the name but don't even know what it is.
Look into it. Exactly.
It's like it's like, oh, there's like a big party where a lot of black people get together.
Yes, and I'm like, no, that's not exactly. I'm like, we do that anyways.
Yeah.
So we do that anyways, but no, and it's just something, like, it's just a feeling whenever whenever Juneteenth is celebrated, and whenever it's just something about it, and you really can't experience it unless you're there.
Yeah.
Like and then when you get there, you'll understand what I'm trying to say. Because for real, it's really.
I think it seems like it's like, because like you said, or going to the Black History Month, it's like Black History Month was like given to
Black History was like.
It's like here, but it's like Juneteenth is like, no, you made this.
Yes.
It's like you made your own holiday, and like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the one that you want to celebrate instead of this other thing that the society tries to push on you.
Exactly. Because if one thing about society, they're gonna try to push something for real, sure. Whether it's good or bad, we'll push something.
Okay. Let's see
Thank you for that question, by the way.
Yeah. So I guess another one on those lines too is like, so was there any historical facts or figures that you can tell us about?
Absolutely. Okay, this is my favorite piece of history ever. Okay, so have you ever heard the story of Henrietta Lacks?
Yeah, I think you told me this.
I talked about it last Juneteenth. But basically, Henrietta Lacks was a woman who went to the doctor, and they did, I believe it was they took some of her cells to, and they weren't supposed to, and they did.
Yeah.
And they took some of her cells and put it like on a scope. I'm not a biology major. Yeah. I just know a story about a black superwoman. Yeah. So, but and the cells, they didn't die. They kept multiplying. And then that was actually how they found the cure for multiple different viruses, polio, COVID, and she never got her flowers until way, way later. The doctor said that these cells belonged to someone named Helen Lane, because he didn't want to say that they came from a black woman. And this is like, it's a biology like phenomenon. It's like taught in schools. I didn't take science classes in school because in college I was an art major. But I think that is my favorite story, because bro, black people are really superhumans. Like, nobody has ever heard anything like this. Like, it boggles my mind. Like, I can't. That is absolutely amazing and insane. And so, yeah, we should thank her for everything that she did.
It's like a name that should be more known.
Everybody should know who Henrietta Lacks is. Like
you said, that whole thing. I mean, because I think, I don't know too much about it, but it's like, when you say like the cure for like COVID, like the vaccines, and stuff like that, it's like it seems like it's like a process that they can use to make vaccines. This was like
in 19. Bro, I don't even know. 46, 64, way back. And the fact that her cells are still multiplying today, and people aren't mind boggled by that, I can't. That is insane. And black people are literally superheroes, superhumans. And that's why they're targeted.
Yeah, for sure. It's just, I mean.
Thank you for letting me get that off my chest, David.
So is there anything else that you think people should know about the holiday before as we wrap this segment up?
I think everybody, especially if you're in OKC, join in on Juneteenth on the East. I think this is going to be the 4th or 5th year that they've been doing it. And it's just so amazing. I love everything about it. Yeah, everything is awesome. You can also volunteer for it if you want to. I did that last year, and it's just a bunch of love being spread, and it's really amazing. Honestly, I love it.
I can't wait for that. Everybody
I know.
go.
Juneteenth on the East. I'm
Is
excited.
it gonna be on Thursday on the day?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that and try to share some awareness of the holiday coming up.
Thank you for that.
Because it's definitely a big one that, especially in the summer, it's like, okay, we got 4th of July coming up and Memorial Day, but it's like,
all of that.
Right, there's another one in there.
Exactly, that's important.
Yeah, so.
This episode of Rhythm and Wit was brought to you by Campbell & Son Electric, Oklahoma City's trusted one-truck electrical contractor with over 20 years of experience in the field. Whether it's upgrading your home's electrical service, troubleshooting issues, or tackling small commercial projects, Campbell & Son Electric delivers top-notch work with care and attention you'd expect from a family business. Servicing areas like Del City, Edmond, Yukon, Mustang, and beyond, they're your go-to for reliable expert service. Need help with your next project? Visit CampbellandSonElectric.com today and get it done right the first time. Campbell & Son Electric, brightening Oklahoma, one wire at a time.
So I started talking about this a little bit earlier, but what are some of your other talents and hobbies?
Okay.
I'm always curious about this because
I have a few secret ones.
Yeah, okay.
I have a few secret ones. I bought a deck the other yeah.
A skateboard?
No. Like a deck, like a DJ deck.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That's what they're called, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, deck can mean a lot of things, I guess.
Hold on, I have to make sure that's what that's
but
called.
Is it like a turntable type thing? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know too much about.
No, I just have to make sure before Okay, let's start this again. Yeah. So
yeah, go ahead.
So I actually bought a deck.
So what does it do? Is like you can plug in audio and
and then you just kind of have at it. Which was this was something that I liked doing when I was like 17, but I never actually had a deck. I just would clip different songs and I would literally use iMovie. Yeah. And I would like make transitions with the songs and stuff. Cool. And honestly, it was kind of fire. I wish I still had that stuff. But so then I started taking it a little more seriously. But even if it's like I don't plan on being like on a rooftop and I don't plan on being like Diplo. But who knows? I might fuck around and be Diplo. But
it's just, it's another thing you could,
especially like at my shows, I'm like, what if instead of me being on aux, I just whip out this deck?
Why not?
And I'm like, who knows?
That's like John McMillan, you know him?
Yes,
he's a producer.
Yes, or also, oh my gosh, no, not me blanking on his name. I know his name.
Another comic.
Reggie Watts, Watts, because he be up there doing that.
Because he uses
and playing the trumpet or sax and all that, So I take something.
There's a lot of. I mean, there's definitely a lot of comics that do like music
incorporating. I think that's so cool because
usually it's like a guitar or whatever.
Yeah. Or there's something. His last name's Morgan, but he has like the auto-tune mic.
Oh, okay.
And he's like running Morgan J. He runs around like an auto-tune mic. It's like funny.
Because you could do like loops and stuff.
It's cool.
I think that's what Reggie Watts does a lot. He'll just make up a funny song with looper.
And then you're like laugh crying. Yeah. So it would be fun.
Yeah, that was definitely because I saw him at Blue Whale and that was like
me
one
too.
Of the
that was crazy. That was the craziest thing. Oh, you know what's crazy? After the POC4 show that we did at Blue Whale, me and Rory and I were walking down the street. I think
you told me about this.
Yes,
actually.
And then randomly Reggie and his beautiful girlfriend, I can't think of her name right now. But I saw her first. I said, who's that?
Oh, yeah.
She's beautiful. And then Rory goes, I think that's Reggie Watts. And I was like, and then he just comes up to us and he was like, hey, like, how'd y'all's show go? And I said,
what? He knew.
I said, Reggie. Cool. But anyways, so I do a little bit of that. Not enough to say I do it. It's literally me in my room with my dog.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could just practicing right now.
Yeah, just something. I also love dance. I've been dancing since I was little. Thank God I have rhythm. I'm actually pretty good at it. It comes in waves. I'll like hyperfixate on it for like 2 months, and then I'll leave it, and then I'll come back to it.
Had you ever done like any dance performance?
Yeah, I did. Last year I did a show with race dance at Beer City, and that was really cool. That was the first thing I've done in a long time. That was like at an actual venue. We did the whole thing. It was really fun. I love doing that, and I just love all types of. My degree is in cinematography.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so my degree is in media production with emphasis on cinematography, and that's like really where a lot of my passion lays. I was doing a lot of that before COVID, then I kind of fell off a little bit. So just know when you see me start posting my videos again, I'm up. Just know I've healed. Everything is healed. But yeah, I think those are my main things. And then just like running around, running amok with my friends.
Well, like one thing I wanted to ask was, speaking of Roy Littleton, I'm actually working with them on the
Tangled Web
doing
series?
sound on season 2. We've only done the first episode.
No way.
So hopefully I'm going to be doing
amazing.
I'm doing as much as I can as far as the scheduling goes.
Yeah.
Like I want to be there for all of it if I can. But that's been an incredible thing to watch and get involved with.
That's awesome.
I took like one semester of like a full semester of film classes at OKC like in 2022 or something like that, because I wanted to get into film. I love like cameras and all this stuff, so like I was always been interested in it, and so I took a bunch of classes there and learned a ton. Never did anything. I realized after that one semester I was like, I don't know if I want to necessarily work on film sets, like big productions,
big things,
just because like it's a lot and it's frankly very dangerous. And like,
really? Oh,
like
well,
as far as like, I mean, I was literally going to school when Alec Baldwin killed that woman.
Yeah. Yeah, and he said that's enough for me.
I mean, but that was, I mean, obviously.
I was just about to bring that up.
Very few people. I mean, that's only like the third, person to ever die on set.
But with my luck.
But still, like
that's 3's enough.
But
for
a lot of people, but there's been a lot more people that have probably crashed their cars on the way home from working for 12 hours straight.
Yes, exactly.
So like that's kind of what I was like, I don't know. They're not treated. The crew is just treated very poorly on big productions.
And
so
that's
like,
really
so I kind of was like, I don't know if that's
they do it.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like I learned a lot about how it works for good and worse.
Yeah,
it's like,
absolutely.
But it's like it's still something that I think is fascinating. The creativity of it, and working on like Tangled Webs is just like such a small thing that's like everyone just so passionate about this one thing, making this thing happen.
Yes.
So kind of my question is like, have you ever considered like acting?
Bro, okay, I'm happy you brought this up.
Or like,
okay,
or trying. I'm sure they put you in it.
Yeah, he asked me if I wanted to do some kind of role, and of course, right off bat, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
The thing with me is I never know if I want to be in front or behind the camera.
Yeah. Okay.
That's something that I have struggled with. I could do both.
Help with a lot in there.
But yeah, I would yes. The answer to the question is yes. And I think that soon in just my overall career, I think the more that I can stack my money, work as hard as I can, and then I'll be able to do more acting or afford more equipment to do what I want to do.
Yeah, you had talked about like doing sketches.
Yeah, exactly, which is really what I want to do as well. It's just like it's a slow burn. I think this next year is going to be me getting all the equipment that I want to get within reason, and then being able to just endlessly create.
Yeah.
Because that's where I would find my happiness, honestly.
Just having, because that's kind of where I'm at, where it's like I'm pretty much gone into debt, credit card debt, as far as
absolutely.
for the past like 10 years, buying a lot of audio equipment for music.
Yes,
but it's like
you were literally there at Best Buy. We ran into each other at Best Buy when I was there trying to buy a laptop, and I was trying to get apply for their Best Buy card, and they literally denied me. And you were really right here doing a DoorDash, getting a remote control, and I was like, oh, bye.
I was like, that was so funny.
So trust me, I get it.
Yeah, no. so yeah, that's but the thing is now
I forgot you were there. I'm so sorry. That's so funny.
That was so
to me.
random.
Okay, so random. What a weird crossover episode. Okay, go on.
No, so but I'm definitely still paying off a lot of credit cards, which I'll never probably pay off.
Which honestly, that does make me feel a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really care because it's like, who cares? It's like you're gonna always be paying for something.
You're gonna always be paying for something.
So, but the thing is, like, I don't necessarily have to buy a lot of stuff now. I have it all.
You have it. You have it. And look at what you do with all of it.
So it's like now I have the cameras. It's like obviously I'll buy like I bought these mics fairly recently, so it's like I'll buy here and there and add to the things that I need. But it's now it's like I can pretty much do like I can shoot a whole movie.
You really could.
I have all the stuff that I need.
Wait, so should we link up on a sketch?
I would be interested.
Just
like I said,
if it's too much, absolutely, of course. But like, I feel like we should do like a little something just to see.
I would be definitely down to, because like I want to do more of that. Like, because I have all the film skills and the equipment and stuff like that. I
have a bunch of ideas.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I need people that have ideas, and because me and Nick have, one day we'll probably do something like that. Like we'll, but it's finding the time. Honestly,
yes, exactly.
With him, anyways.
No, but, David.
Yeah,
I'm so interested.
I just want to do more. Like it's even working with Rory and them. It's like I'm just trying to learn.
Yeah, learn it all.
Watching and seeing other people that have more experience than me, and because I work on the Martin Dupross. They have a movie that I did sound for.
Really?
That's not out yet.
Oh, okay. I was like, why haven't I seen that?
It's called Awkward Gawker. It's hilarious.
I love them.
It's done. We had a crew screening last month, so it's very, very funny. It'll be out pretty soon.
How exciting!
But so I'm sure they're going to be ramping up and doing another thing soon. So I can't wait to get started.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm just always interested in doing that kind of stuff.
I'm so happy you said this to me right now.
Yeah, because
I am overflowing with sketch ideas. That I would love to execute. Like that was one, like I have my vision board from this January. Yeah. And I look at it every day and I see the equipment and I see the sketch ideas and I just haven't brought it to life. And I would,
it's definitely like in teaming up and stuff like that definitely helps, because even if you can do everything yourself, it's so hard to motivate yourself.
Exactly.
So it's like if you have someone else to kind of push you and be like, hey,
and then we push each other and then it works. We hold each other accountable.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
that'd be awesome.
I'd definitely be interested. Like, I mean, the only thing that really stops me from doing all this stuff is like time. But I mean, I think we can figure it out. Especially if we don't commit to anything too big.
Exactly. Just tiny baby steps.
Yeah.
Really tiny baby steps.
I think that's definitely one of the reasons why I always ask those kinds of questions, is because it's like I want to find out where else I can fit in with people, and it's like I don't know, it always kind of leads to it's like, because I don't know, but that's great. So kind of getting in, like I said, I've got like a few more kind of questions, like kind of wrap up questions. But like, what's like one of the biggest lessons that you've learned from comedy or improv so far? Or especially like it could be anything as far as like the craft of it or whatever.
Yes. So my biggest thing is, that's a good one. I do this thing after each one of my big shows where the next day I kind of just cry.
Yeah, it's like this.
It's like
postpartum depression.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I know what you mean.
Yes.
It's like I think what it is like this dopamine dump.
Yes,
it's like
exactly.
This balance of like crashing.
Yes, exactly.
Dopamine crash.
Yes, and it's the big like crash, as in like it's all over, and then also it's like a vulnerability hangover. Yeah. Almost is what it feels like, because like you're up there with the mic, you're saying everything, you're showing this raw talent to all of these people, and I think my biggest thing, just being in this career moving forward, is that I have to accept that that's just gonna be the day after.
Yeah,
that's just gonna be how it is.
Get ready for
it. Just get ready for it, babe. It's okay. It's okay. Like That's a big thing. And also, it's crazy because I'm always like, be confident within yourself, and then I go, I'm like shaky kneed.
Yeah.
But seriously, it's just like, be confident. That's easier said than done. What I like to do is I like to have my friends just like hype me up the most that they can. So then even if I go on stage and get one little chuckle, then I'm like, okay, I'll be okay. You know what I mean?
You're still feeling good.
Still feeling good from the dopamine that my friends just gave me. Yeah. But I think that's the biggest thing I've learned is just to be okay with that vulnerability hangover and that post-show depression.
Yeah, I think that's definitely real. I used to get that a lot, like after the parties.
Yeah.
Those are like the biggest thing that I would ever do, like during the year, right?
Yes.
So it's like, and that would happen to me almost every time.
Every time, because you're left with like nothing.
There's like a whole week or longer of like prep and all this stuff that goes into it, and then once it's done, you're like, okay,
and everyone's gone, and it's quiet.
You're alone.
You're alone.
And you're like, what happened?
Yes, exactly. Where are my people at? Like, no, that's been my biggest thing.
Because I know exactly what you mean. So like, I think that I don't know if this is good advice or not, but it's like I think that for my thing is like I don't necessarily have that problem. I don't know. I don't have a lot of similar things as that now, but like I don't know. But the difference is now it's like I don't let those things actually ever get that big in my head because it's like and how I do that is just by doing way too much.
Yeah.
Like I can't ever actually stop and think about what just happened.
Honestly, that
because
is the best. No,
I have like 5 other things.
Exactly, and I need to get them done now.
Right.
Like they were supposed to be done yesterday, actually.
So it's kind of like my thing too is now it's like, okay, well, even like after shooting with Rory and them, it's like it was like that was only like last weekend, I think, but so it was pretty recent. And maybe like a long time ago or years ago, I probably would have had that where I'm like, oh my God, that was so incredible.
Yes.
And then you're after, but it's like, I don't have time to feel that way.
Exactly.
It's
more with the shows that like, that I put a lot of work into, you know, and like, that I like headline or that I am like a really crazy special guest. Yes, that I produce. It's more after shows like that.
For sure.
But I really needed that advice because I really just needed to stay busy because I still have freaking. This show was like coming up on 3 weeks ago, and I still haven't even looked through my footage or anything. But I need to, for sure. I think, but I also think things are gonna happen when they happen.
Yeah.
But also, I need to get to work. You know, also get up.
You can't
use
dwell.
That.
You can't use that as an excuse either.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm sad.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, baby, you got stuff to do.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at, or what I've learned to like kind of cope with that is just like don't ever let it become. Like I said, I think it's more the healthier way to phrase that is to like don't let it become the biggest thing ever.
Yes.
Just like focus on the next thing as quickly as you can and just start over, you know.
Yes, start over. Keep going.
Not like, I don't know, but
no, thank you for that.
I think it's also just advice. The more you do it too.
That's a
I
good
mean,
one.
I don't know, hopefully, but anyway. So would you also say that's kind of like, I guess, well, the next question is like, what's the biggest challenge you're currently facing with your art? And just like the motivation part of it.
Bro, it's my biggest challenge that I'm facing with my art currently is writing.
Yeah.
Making myself sit and actually transfer these like me thinking there's these like $1 million ideas, which they could be if I put them down somewhere.
I mean,
And that's my biggest thing too. And also, with like I said, how I have this like crazy ADHD and I have like these hyperfixations. And I think a lot of times, especially when I first started, I fixated on it too much and then I put it down for like 6 months. And I don't want to do that to myself
because it's like you burn out.
Yes, and I don't want to burn out, especially if I want to do this forever. Right. I can't. Yeah. So I think right now my biggest struggle is like finding the correct balance.
Yeah. I was gonna say like you gotta find a good pace.
Yeah.
With that. I mean, I don't know what it's like. I mean, I know a lot of people that do have ADHD, so it's like I understand and to an extent, but I feel like I have like the opposite of ADHD in a way. I don't know. It's like I have like because it's like or people with like their phones, right? I've always used this as an example. It's like people are just so they can't stop like with like Instagram or TikTok or whatever. And it's like, I do not have that problem. It's like I can put my phone down and just work on something, and it's like I forget to even look at my phone. You know, it's like I'm just working on whatever I'm doing.
You're so real for admitting that.
But it's like
you're so real.
It's I don't know. So it's like I totally understand.
I see what you're saying.
Why people do get addicted to it, but it's like I don't know. I just don't. You know, that's never been a thing for me. And it's like I don't know. I feel like I do have like fixations where it's like I'll when it comes to like editing video, right? It's like I can sit and edit a video for like 2 hours straight, and you look up and you're like, where'd the time go?
Where am I?
But it's like I don't know. But I feel like I've always had a good balance of like doing something, you know, intensely focusing for like 2 hours, and then I get up and take a break, go outside, you know, drink coffee, then come back to it, if you know, whatever.
Oh my God,
or switch to something else.
That's literally what my ideal. That's what my ideal situation would be. Me, it's like, okay, 6 hours. I'm hard in this, and then I'm drained, and then I'm putting it down, and I might not ever come back to it. But it really all does. Like I've been on this really crazy mental health ADHD journey for at least the last like 7 months, and one book that I checked out definitely is helping me understand more realistic ways of
dealing with
planning, dealing, not hyperfixating, you know, because without hyperfixation, like I'm nothing.
I think that's something that I mean I think about a lot with certain things that are like bad, like the bad aspects of ourselves. Like with that, for you, it's like because I agree. It's like I like those things where that I can focus intensely on things.
It's like, my superpower and my curse all in one.
But I think that it's good that you can appreciate that
for sure,
for what it is.
Because I do appreciate her.
Because my thing
she be working overtime.
Because my thing is, I think one of my biggest things is like self-doubt, which is like, in I think a lot of people deal with that as creatives for sure, or just anyone. But like my thing with it is like it can be very crippling for me and very like, you know, detrimental. But I also have learned to appreciate it because I wouldn't be as good as I am without it.
If
like
I didn't
push
have that
myself,
absolutely,
because of it. So it's like you kind of have to. You can't like beat yourself up over these things.
For sure. No, for sure. I completely understand that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just obviously different aspects, but similar.
Yeah. I think this last year, a breakthrough with my depression that I had is that like I wouldn't even have the high highs that I have if I didn't have these lows. So it does make you appreciate yourself for sure.
So I guess, do you have any advice for people with ADHD that are struggling?
My gosh,
it's like, what have you learned to like that has helped lately?
The voices are not real, babe.
Yeah.
The voices are not real. The self-doubt,
it's all, I mean, it's just,
overwhelming like rejection, dysphoria that you face. Like, it's not real. And it's loud, but it's not real. And, especially like these last 7 months, I've learned a lot that what I think about me is not what my friends and my family and my loved ones think about me, and I find a lot of comfort in that, because if I think like I'm too much or I'm too loud or I'm not funny or I'm not successful or I'm not creative, they don't think that. And they don't think that at all. And the people wouldn't come, like these beautiful, amazing supporters that I have, these people wouldn't come to my shows if they thought I was a bad person, if they thought that like I'm, you know, all these thoughts that like I have. So that's been my biggest thing, is that
trying
like
to learn
it's not
to,
real.
Learn
Reach
to realize
out for help,
because it's like
phone a friend if you need.
All these things that it's like we say to ourselves, right? It's like you're saying they're in your head, right? But then they're not. They don't exist anywhere else. You know, it's
literally.
Like they're just they're here.
They're just here.
But you know, you can. There are ways to learn how to quiet those too. I mean, So there's definitely, you know, and just by even accepting that they aren't real.
And that they will be there.
Or just learning how to go about it with with that. So that's great. Yeah.
That was a great question. Thank you.
So okay, a couple more is kind of going into kind of the future, but what does success look like to you?
Oh.
Like, what do you think, or maybe like this 5-year vision for yourself, or 5-10 years down the line?
Success to me looks like, one, for sure, just being rich and like, wait, no. Like rich in life. Like right now I'm like real broke in the bank account, but real rich in life. I'm like, let's maybe rich in both. But no, but also I would love if, I would love to be able to take on more as of a creative role to where it can just fully, what's the word? Like, fully pay for my life,
like
you know?
Sustain.
Yeah, sustain. Like I can make like a sustainable wage just being a creative in any kind of way. Honestly, like rather that's if I want to start like really getting heavy back into my degree and into my editing, or if that's just really like doing these shows and selling them out like how I've been doing, or like just in any kind of like creative form, it can run my lifestyle. That's what I feel like success would be to me personally.
That's great. Yeah, I think that's something that in a similar way, it's like I found that in some ways, like I said.
No, you
now
have.
I'm like doing DoorDash, which that's a lot of work. So you know, it's not necessarily what I want to do, but it gives me the freedom
and your
to
own
do
schedule to
all
do
this other
stuff.
So like that's kind of, and I think that there is a way
that
there.
To me, this is success.
Yeah.
To me, this is success.
And I think that's there's always more that I want to achieve and get to. So
because you're constantly growing. I don't mean like.
But yeah.
I don't mean like. I mean long term goal.
Yeah.
Obviously, selling out arenas.
Yeah.
Like exactly, but like short term goal is just like me being able to keep being a creative and being able to sustain my lifestyle. Because it's like
there's so many people that struggle with like, oh, they have to work full-time jobs and you don't have time to be creative.
Yes, and that's what I'm terrified of is like. That's why I quit my last 9 to 5. Well, that's not the only reason. They were horrible, but like 9 to 5 that takes up so much. You have to be that special kind of person to be able to do your own work after 9 to 5. Like I commend you. Like that is amazing.
That's definitely not what because I was lucky for a long time when I worked at the news. The schedule I had was like a blessing and a curse because it was way too early in the morning, and like and it really messed me up mentally. Like that schedule, doing it for like 8 years is not healthy for anyone to wake up at 3 in the morning and go to work.
No, it's not.
But so I was happy I got out of that, but it also gave me a lot of freedom, like in the afternoons, and like I could do kind of stuff like this, and had a little bit more time. But I feel like if I had a regular 9 to 5 p.m. job, and you get off work at 5-6 p.m. and you're like, okay, now I'm tired. I want to just
now I'm tired. I don't want to do anything because I don't have any energy. Yeah, I have to come home. I have to deal with my dog who's running up a wall and is excited as hell to see me, which I get. And then
but he's like,
do that, and then that's taking what? And then what? 9 p.m. You need to start getting ready to go to bed already, and then wake up, do it again. Right. That's not my speed.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not my speed.
I think that I think the other thing going into that, it's like as many things that you do is like it's good to like have multiple things that you can make money from too, if you can. That's what I'm finding is like I can make money from photography or doing video or doing sound for a
for
movie
sure,
or whatever. It's like just doing making a little bit here and there, but it's okay, it all adds up. To where it's like I haven't had a real job in since December, and like
that is the best,
and it's working.
I love that.
So it can anyone.
And
can,
I really actually needed to hear that. Yeah, I really did need to hear that.
I think it's possible because I was afraid. Like I had this idea. I learned about DoorDash. I mean, I was kind of known what it was, but like I didn't know you could make you can make a full-time. I can make more on DoorDash than I was even making full-time at the news.
Really?
If you work,
if you're really about it,
if you're, you might have to work overtime. It might take you, more hours than it did, but still, it's there. The money's there. So like, I think that it is a good. I always say this too. It's like if you're interested in getting into DoorDash and using that, and it's such a great opportunity for creative people or comics or musicians, because you can have flexibility in your schedule.
And that's what I need for sure.
And because there's so many other apps, like I was saying, there's Uber Eats, which I've tried a little bit. It's basically the same thing, but it's or just Uber, drive people, real people.
I'm so scared.
But I mean, there's a lot of
people getting it. But even, I mean, like obviously, like I'm a young woman, I should be scared of like crazy things, which like I am. But like the day somebody throws up in the back of my car,
I don't know. My car, they won't even allow. It's too old. But like I would try it, but I don't know that I would like, because it's the same thing. It's like I don't want to pick up.
These are just randoms.
Yeah, like you can make a lot obviously after the bar closes, but it's like I definitely don't want to.
I'm gonna be in bed.
Yeah,
and I don't want them in my car.
Yeah, exactly. It's I don't know if I want to pick up a bunch of drunk people.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't know, but other than that too, it's like there's opportunities that I'm trying to get into. It's like Instacart, which is like grocery shopping for people, which that I'm on. You have to get on like a wait list that before, like, as I guess, and I haven't gotten to try it yet. But there's also one for this Amazon delivery where it's just basically DoorDash but for Amazon packages.
Really?
And you work for Amazon, and they pay you per package. I guess you're picking up packages and just delivering Amazon to people's houses. Which is like, which that's also a similar thing. You have to get on a wait list.
Yeah.
But, there's lots of opportunities like that that are very similar to, in different formats. So I don't know.
I'm always looking for a way to make more money.
There's like, and I think that's something about today. It's like this weird, like the economy is like shifting into this, more like the gig economy, right? With like Airbnb, if you have a house that you can rent out, stuff like that, or it's basically using the stuff that you have to rent to other people.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, there's a lot. I don't know. It's interesting that the economy is evolving in that way, and kind of allowing people to be their own bosses and stuff like that.
Right. Have their own hours, be able to not have to sit down to do the classic 9 to 5. That makes me want to.
Or even like, with streaming like Twitch, or like you can make money on the internet and just not even leave your house.
Right.
I mean, if you can build the following and get, there's like so much like Patreon, it's like, I mean, that's a big one for a lot of creators too, is like if you can build the following. I mean, that's kind of the ideal goal for Rhythm and Wit would be to have like thousands of followers on the internet. And then you can, sell subscriptions for like bonus content. I mean, there's a whole thing there that works. I've seen it work with, about like YouTube influencers and stuff. So it's like,
will get there.
Yeah.
And you will be there.
So it's like, and I think that's similar. I mean, if you, build that format and build that, I don't know.
Yeah, I need to work on my social media game. It's just so much.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I complained, but then I really want to lock in, and then I'll complain some more, and then I won't, and then I will. But I don't lock in for the enough amount of time to see anything, and then I'm like, I'm not seeing anything. Let me just stop.
It's tough. I don't know. Yeah, because I mean, we've been doing this over 2 years, I think, or about something like that. And it's like, we're growing steadily. I'm not like complaining about that, but it's still like, it's a struggle.
The big break is going to happen.
Yeah, I think that hopefully we'll, as long as you keep doing it, that's what I always say, don't stop, and just like, it takes a long time, but as long as you don't give up, like you were saying, you don't see the growth right away, so you're like, well, this isn't working. Well, it is, but it's like, even if it's one follower.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me too. Exactly. That's the big thing for me too, is that like trying to stay consistent.
I think that's the key. So, but it's tough. All right, well, I think that's kind of all I have. I mean, we can kind of go into where can people find you online.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Wait, I have some shows coming up. Okay, yes. June 14th, I do POC4 at OKC Improv. And then June 19th, I'm doing Juneteenth with POC4. It's going to be stand-up, hybrid, improv, all the good things at OKC Improv. And then I'm doing a show with Evan Hughes and a few other comedians at the Tulsa Riverside Studio. That's going to be on the 27th. And then on the 28th, I am opening for Kill Tony's David Lucas at Bricktown Comedy.
Nice.
I have some good stuff coming up. Good stuff coming up. Yes.
And then your social media.
Yes, I am at Rayvin Comedy. You can find me there on Instagram.
Yes.
And then if you find me there, you can find me everywhere else. Just go to that one, and I'm all around. Yes. Yeah. That's the easiest one. The rest of my name, it just gets too long. So I'm like, follow me at Rayvin Comedy.
Your personal account and stuff like that.
And then you can find the personal account, the TikTok, all on that one. And I keep all of my shows updated on there as well.
Nice. All right. Well, that's it, I think. So thanks, Ray, for coming.
David.
This has been really fun. And
thank you. I had so much fun.
This has been great learning more about improv. And I always think it's an interesting thing whenever people do, like, you do improv and comedy and obviously like doing film and all that. So
this was great. I think we covered so much. This was like the best one we've done yet. We went in some depth.
For sure. That's why I like this. So all right, well,
so
thanks everyone.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Oh my goodness, that was great. That was a good one. I know my little ears. I feel like I've been blowing